Simulation theory, the edgy belief popular among young adults that drink way too much Starbucks and definitely need you to help them with their startup. Simulation theory theorizes that, quote, all of existence might be a simulated reality, such as a computer simulation that convinces its inhabitants that the simulation is real. So say we are living in a simulation, or perhaps I am living in a simulation and you, my beautiful subscriber, are an NPC. I'm sorry for you to find out this way, but you are not real, and you are existing in my world. But let's rewind a little bit. Simulation theory, while we all talk about it now due to its popular interest, actually dates back thousands of years. The butterfly dream. Please forgive me for how much Chinese I'm about to butcher here. It's gonna be really bad. Once, Zhuangzi dreamed he was a butterfly flitting and fluttering about, happy with himself and doing as he pleased. He did not know that he was Zhuangzi. Suddenly, he woke up, and there he was, solid and unmistakably Zhuangzi. But he didn't know if he was Zhuangzi, who had dreamt he was a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming that he was Zhuangzi. Between Zhuangzi and the butterfly, there must be some distinction. This is called the transformation of things. I know, my little NPC, you don't get it. Essentially, Guy dreams he is a butterfly. Guy doesn't know he's dreaming. Guy wakes up, and Guy is now Guy again. But is he Guy, or is he a butterfly dreaming? Now, this text actually dates back to the 3rd century BC from a book called Zhuangzi, called, quote, the most important pre-Xin text for the study of Chinese literature. God, I don't know any Chinese, I'm so sorry. I think that what this writing tries to tell us is that even if you are convinced your reality is indeed reality, you can never be 100% sure. It is entirely possible that Zhuangzi was actually a dreaming butterfly, but neither the butterfly nor Zhuangzi would ever know the truth. Now let's apply this to your life. Are you sure you are actually a person? Like, absolutely sure? You might be angrily typing in the comments, I think, therefore I am. A quote from René Descartes, a 17th century philosopher. Deconstructed, René essentially means, quote, that cannot doubt which does not think, and that cannot think which does not exist. I doubt, I think, I exist. If you have thoughts, you are real. But there are some arguments to this I would love to present. Bring in my boy Nietzsche. Taken from Wikipedia, the most reliable source of information on the internet, I think this summarizes my argument appropriately. Nietzsche criticized the phrase in that it presupposes that there is an I, that there is such an activity as thinking, and that I know what thinking is. He suggested a more appropriate phrase would be it thinks, wherein the it could be an impersonal subject, as in the sentence, it is raining. Essentially, the concept of I in this argument makes no sense, because you are presupposing that you are real, that there is an I, that this isn't just some elaborate simulation. You are going into the argument with the bias that you are real, without any proof to substantiate it. So now we have both sides. Some believe that if you think, that proves your existence. The other side doubts whether thinking is an actual thing, and that the sense of oneself is an unproven variable. So where do we go from here? Back to simulation theory. Let me introduce Nick Bostrom, Swedish philosopher at University of Oxford, who has a bunch of philosophies on some really cool concepts, particularly simulation. Here's the premise of his argument, ripped, once again, straight from Wikipedia. No shame. Many works of science fiction, as well as some forecasts by serious technologists and futurologists, predict that enormous amounts of computing power will be available in the future. Let us suppose for a moment that these predictions are correct. One thing that later generations might do with their super powerful computers is run detailed simulation of their forebears, or of people like their forebears. Because their computers would be so powerful, they could run a great many such simulations. Suppose that these simulated people are conscious, as they would be if the simulations were sufficiently fine-grained and if a certain quite widely accepted position in the philosophy of mind is correct. Then it could be the case that the vast majority of minds like ours do not belong to the original race, but rather to people simulated by the advanced descendants of an original race. It is then possible to argue that, if this were the case, we would be rational to think that we are likely among the simulated minds rather than among original biological ones. Therefore, if we don't think that we are currently currently living in a computer simulation, we are not entitled to believe that we will have descendants who will run lots of simulations of their forebears. Now, this position doesn't necessarily argue for or against simulation theory. Rather, it argues that one of these three arguments is almost certainly true. The fraction of human-level civilizations that reach a post-human stage, that is, one capable of running high-fidelity ancestor simulations, is very close to zero. Or, the fraction of post-human civilizations that are interested in running simulations of their own evolutionary history or variations thereof is very close to zero, or the fraction of all people with our kind of experiences that are living in a simulation is very close to 1. So now we have a basis for the argument. A civilization that is capable of running such complex simulations is likely to do so. That may explain the how, but why? And what purpose would this all serve? Say you are playing a video game and you enter a cutscene and you watch events unfold in front of the character you've been playing as though you are that character. You feel sad when a main character in the game dies. You feel happy when you control your character to victory. In this context, the simulation then has an objective purpose. It is for the entertainment of you, the player. This scenario could rationalize the theory that we exist inside of a simulation, that we are the character in that video game. Who is to say free will exists, and the decision to wake up and eat a bowl of cereal at 3:14 a.m. isn't just the person controlling me? Who is to say that the person that is controlling me isn't attempting to desperately warn you about the simulation and disrupt its course? Well, of course, that would be bad, because if we knew, the simulation would be pointless, and then the simulation would end, and so would we. Or maybe nobody is controlling us at all. Maybe we do have the ability to do as we please, going about our days, fulfilling all of our little life tasks, working as a collective to further a solution to some bigger problem our creators are facing. Taking this all to its absolute maximum, we are all created. Nothing is real, and our experience serves as an interface back to our creators as a simulated life. One where you could point to a single decision made by a single person and trace it to potentially the end of the world. And with that data point, our creators could know what to avoid to prevent an apocalypse. Or maybe this serves no purpose, and is just a form of entertainment, just like a video game. In conclusion, this theory isn't worth looking into. I can't prove it either way, and neither can you. And that's because we are programs, so go about your day. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.